Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, fresh back from MegaCon, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, it's a pleasure to be back with you, man. I survived it.
I gotta do the. I don't have a soundbite for you, sir, but here's your applause. You hustled. You did a great job, sir, at Comic-Con. Also had a lot of fun, I'm assuming. So
Great time.
yeah. It looked great. It looked like a great time for sure. So we'll talk about that in a few. But just, are you alive, sir? Are you alive?
I'm alive. I'm well. I didn't get the Comic-Con crud, as people refer to it as. Listen, there's a lot of sweaties, a lot of people coughing,
Oh, no.
sneezing. People didn't take showers, maybe. I don't know. So
Oh,
I'm okay.
Joe.
I'm good. I'm rested. I'm back. I'm ready to. I'm ready to knock this episode out of the park.
You're not-
We've got so much to talk about MegaCon.
Yeah.
But I know you're going to give a brief update, as we always do in our episodes. For our
Yeah.
new listeners, thank you. Thank you, everyone, joining us, because we're glad to have you here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. We finally are over the hump after all these years, and we are very grateful, and we're very excited. So if things keep going the way they are, you can definitely expect more and cooler things from us in the future.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. I got a story. I just got a quick update on RE4. Game's good, Joe. It's the same update that I had for God of War. Game's good. It is a fantastic game. Again, you can pick the classic one off of my favorite games of all time and insert this one in because it's just absolutely phenomenal, man. Like I haven't had I had a problem, and it's interesting, right? Because it's a new problem, and not a lot of people go through this problem unless you have a TV that supports VRR. So I had VR enabled, right, on the TV, and I mentioned to you that I've been playing on resolution mode instead of frame rate mode, and just turning everything off, but just running it on I guess quality mode or resolution mode, as they call it. So, and it was, everything's been going good, right? But in the middle of a boss fight, got really intense, fire everywhere, dude. VRR turns off on the TV, dude.
No way.
Because the frame rate dropped under like 40 frames, so VRR turns off. So the TV blacked out for like 2 seconds. It's like, what the heck happened? And then
That's
I realized
crazy,
that it's like,
dude.
oh, VRR turned off. So, yeah, that happened. That was very interesting. But again, this game is absolutely phenomenal. So, highly recommend it. I do have a story about that, right? So, as I have done many times in the past, right? I usually pre-order my games from Best Buy. And Best Buy, according to their website, if you pre-order a game or something, anything, game, movie, whatever, if there's any bonus attached to that item, they will be added to your order. That is absolutely not true. That is not true. So I pre-ordered this game back in December. They never added my pre-order bonuses to the Steelbook and whatever DLC it was. I could care less about that, but I really wanted the Steelbook, right? So I realized, I was like, oh wait, I never got it. So I called Best Buy support. It's like, hey, so I never got my pre-order bonuses. What's up with that? It's like, oh, let me check. And she's like, oh yeah, because you pre-ordered before the thing was available. It was never attached to your order, so you don't get it. It's like, what do you mean? That's the whole purpose of me pre-ordering, right? So if you followed the show for the last, I don't know what, 2 months, maybe 3 months,
Yeah.
I deleted my Twitter uh, app from my phone. I haven't checked Twitter in months, right? Many weeks at this point. I was like, you know
Please
what?
follow Nola Time on Twitter.
Yeah, Joe will check it. I don't. I'm checked out. I'm good. I'm good. So, especially now, it's like, oh, and just no, I don't want to go in a tangent here, but I logged in, dude, and it's that play. It's wild, bro. It looks like a like a knockoff version of what Twitter was right now. It's bad. It's bad, bro. So, um, long story short, I tweet at Best Buy. It's like with a screen cap of what's on the FAQ site saying,
Yeah.
yo, if you pre-order, you get the thing." So, so I tweeted, I was like, "Yo, what's up with this Best Buy?" And like 10 minutes later, I get a reply tweet from Best Buy support. It's like, DM us with your info. We'll check it out. So I DM him with the info, and he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, let me see what I can do." He's like, "Okay, we'll send you the DLC code. I can't do anything about the steelbook. We don't have any." And then I don't check, right. And it's like, okay, well, that really stinks. And I got busy with work, whatever, and I check my email, and then I have an order for the steelbook. And it's like, oh yeah, they hooked me up. So I go back to the DMs, right? I haven't checked the DMs in like 2 hours at this point, and I go back and it's like, oh yeah, so great news. We found a batch, and we're gonna send you one. And it's like, sweet,
Wow.
okay, great. I hope this never happens again. And guess what happened today, Joel? Because I pre-order, and on that same batch of pre-orders, Street Fighter Six pre-order bonuses for Street Fighter Six dropped today. None of them were attached to my order, so I canceled my my Street Fighter
You learned
Six.
this time.
I canceled my Street Fighter Six, and I reorder it with the steelbook and the DLC thing. The colors, the costume colors, how they're giving it,
No,
bro. And I think I'm gonna do Jedi a Survivor, because there's a $10 Best Buy credit that's not attached to my pre-order, and I gotta give him my $10, bro. I think, you know what, at this point I think I'm just gonna cancel that entire order
Mm,
and just redo it, because if they give me the $10 for Survivor, I can probably put that towards either Street Fighter or Final Fantasy 16. So I'll probably end up doing that. But that's a story time with Obed for now.
so,
No, but yeah, go ahead, man.
so are they? Oh, I just want to clarify with the steelbook for RE4. Are
Yes.
they sending you just the steelbook, or is that really the whole game basically
No,
again
just
coming to you?
just the Steelbook,
Okay,
because the
good. That's what I
Steelbook is like a
figured.
separate item. Yeah, yeah,
Separate
yeah.
item. I
It's like a
figured, but I'm
separate
like,
line
that would be
item.
pretty wild if they sent you the whole
Yeah,
thing. That makes
bro.
sense. I'm glad that you're getting exactly what you wanted,
Because that's the
what you
thing.
paid
I
for.
have all the remakes. I have the remake, the Steelbook for 2 and 3
Right,
from Best Buy, and it's like, oh, I want to get 4 and get the whole, get the set. So
right.
yeah, man. But now I'm getting the Street Fighter 1 too, so that's good. So I'm
Okay.
happy. I love those stupid Steelbooks. I have my RE4 PS2 that I have is the Steelbook version with the Ada Wong, was it a lithograph or whatever it came with,
Right.
and like a making off DVD. So it's good stuff. I mean, sometimes they come up with some good pre-order bonuses, but I like physical stuff, right? If you're gonna send me a pre-order, it was like Jedi Survivors. Like, I didn't go for the deluxe because it's just cosmetics. I can buy them later. And then RE4, I ended up getting that deluxe package I paid for separately, and that was good. Actually, I ended up using a couple of those items on my last run through, so I can't wait to play it again. The game is it's real good, man. So, but let's go ahead and get a quick recap of we got a ton of stuff happening,
Oh
right?
yeah.
We got a
Yeah.
ton of stuff that we want
Yep.
to talk about tonight. So just go ahead and give us a quick recap of MegaCon, and then we'll jump into, I guess, Mando. If you're on YouTube, you can see that title. We'll talk Mando. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, let's talk about MegaCon. Good people. This is the update you all been waiting on. So, look, it was 4 days. Was there for all 4 days of the convention, from preview night all the way through Sunday. Stayed opening to closing every day. Was there early till the end, which is not something I've usually done. But if that's any indication, you'll see that MegaCon really they have upped their game so much with the type of content that they brought forward with the showroom show floor items and having the different vendors out there, that you really found value in being there for the incomplete amount of time that they have available for you as a ticket holder. um I had my fair share of issues with the convention, and this is more so growing pains, I would refer to it as. I don't have the exact article in front of me. Someone pointed it out to me. I haven't been able to find it, so it's hard for me to fact check the validity. But there was talk around that this is after the numbers that have come through from this last convention, that it is in the top tier. We're talking like top five comic book conventions in the nation. Um,
Wow.
because of the sheer amount of people in attendance. Now, a lot of that has to do with Saturday. I haven't seen this happen before like ever, where they actually sold out of full day tickets for Saturday. Last year, it definitely felt like it had sold out, but I never heard an announcement that it was sold out. And I kept seeing people coming in, and it was just crowded, 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 uncomfortably crowded, I will actually
Oh
say.
wow, really?
Which
That's
is, a
interesting, man.
good problem, right?
Oh, totally, totally.
It's a good
I mean,
problem,
and
but but
it's
you
not
can't.
the convention center is probably the convention is for sure big enough to
That's the
handle the capacity, right? It's probably that they need to expand their floor space at this point.
That's the thing. They have
Yeah,
to use more of the convention center. So
yeah.
they switched for the last 2 years, last year and this year. They switched locations. They used to be on the West Concourse. Now they're on the North and South Concourse. They have a connection there between the show floor and between both. And without getting into too much detail, the way it's set up now compared to what was before, like you could go on almost like all the main panels were on the outside of the showroom floor, and then you had on the inside the main show floor. Where with this one, you have to actually walk through the show floor to make it to where any of the panels or activities are happening. So if you're
Okay,
on
I
the
see.
North Concourse,
Hmm.
you have to go through the show floor to make the South Concourse across all the way through. So it Saturday in particular, where you have thousands of people, you're like, okay, this is on this side. Let me like brace the uncomfortableness of having to push through the crowds just to make it across. It was insanity, but a
Wow.
good problem nonetheless. Growing pains. Definitely gonna need more staff. And like you said, gonna have to use bigger space for the convention center. But good on them. As for buying stuff on the show floor, I got a few connections with a couple different vendors. There's an item in particular I've been looking for from San Diego Comic Con. I have not been able to find it. New York Comic Con, couldn't find it. Found a connection that I think is going to have what I've been looking for, from their comic book shop. I think they're out of state. I have their email contact. They didn't even bring it with them, but they're like, yeah, we should have this in the warehouse. I'm like, we'll see, we'll see. But that's all separate. I digress. As for just the panels, you all will see that I uploaded tons of that content on the No Load Time YouTube channel. So make sure you go to the playlist MegaCon. You'll see all that content laid out there. But yeah, they clear the showroom full. They clear showroom. They clear the panel rooms between each panels. So if you notice, the trend was I would get probably about a half an hour worth of the panel, unless it was the last panel of the day. And then the videos would cut, and then you would see the next video pick up. That had to do with, unfortunately, because of them clearing the rooms. There was literally, if I did not cut and get out of the room and get back in line, there was no way you would have had your Cobra Kai or your Carl Weathers or any of those other panels. Those videos would not have happened because I wouldn't make it in the room, or I would be all the way in the back of the room with a terrible space, with some 6 foot tall person in front of me. So I wanted to make sure that I got a good best view as I could. Unfortunately, like you'll see, for example, with
You
some of
mentioned
the
a 6 foot
panels, like
person. I just remember that person at the Academy Awards with that dress that was going over, and like no one could
Oh
see
yeah,
anything.
no one can see. There, you're done. I mean, who's there? No one knows. Um, so so yeah, like for like unfortunately, like one of the panels you will notice, I think it's a Tara Strong. No, it was the James McAvoy one. Like I was right by the front, but you know, God bless this lady brought her stroller in with her children right in front of her. So you see a bit of the stroller in the video. I'm like, come on. Another video where this like bald guy kept moving around the side. I'm like, just stay still. I'm trying. So I really apologize. To say that, say I tried to get the best quality I could.
Joel, you're gonna probably have to end up getting a GoPro with a head strap or something next
Seriously,
time. Yeah, yeah,
seriously,
honestly.
we're amping it. We're amping it
Yeah.
because that's one thing I want to say to you all before I get into this really quickly. Just some quick highlight stuff here. San Diego Comic Con, I will be there. I already have my tickets launched in. You can bet all the exclusive stuff that we can get. That's all going to be uploaded. So stay subscribed. Tell your friends to subscribe. Share with everyone else because we're going to get it. We're going to bring it big for San Diego. But with that being said, um, some of the main quick things like of information that was interesting. Tara Strong confirmed that she will be back as Miss Minutes. She's like, I'm not really supposed to say this, but I'm back for Loki season 2. Not really much of a surprise, but it was
Yeah.
cool to see her confirm that. Um, Zachary Levi gave an interesting answer for the DC universe. What's going on there?
Okay. So I had it on my personal notes. I didn't actually send it to
Okay.
you. But real quick, now that you mention it, do you wanna? It's movie bombed bad, dude. Right?
Oh well, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so obviously, I have a spoilers review, but in the beginning of my non that spoilers review, I have a non spoiler part. I said this movie's not good, so not really surprised. I'm serious. It's not a disaster, but it's not good. It's not a good time. It falls apart in the second half. But anyways, he's still defending this movie. But the question that was asked to him, and this is in the last bit of the video, you gotta watch that full panel video. But he said the question was asked to him was like, how do you feel about how basically you pushed for really hard to have Superman in the first Shazam movie, only to have him be headless, right? Then you get in Black Adam, spoilers, you get full Superman in that movie, right? But then when it comes to Shazam 2, you figure to have the same situation where characters are not able to show up in that movie that maybe were originally supposed to be. How do you feel about the state of the DC universe and the challenges you've had working with them? And he starts going, "Ooh," like he starts doing a little dance, and he's like, "How do I dance around this one?" Because he's like, anything I say right now is gonna be misconstrued.
hmm
But he basically said like he thinks the movie was really good. He's really disappointed in how hard it was to get the stuff that they had set up and the things that could have happened in their movies. He still wants to be back as Shazam. He still thinks he's the coolest character, one of the coolest characters that he's been able to play. And he wants to continue on. But that was really the extent of it, and I thought that was really fascinating because he's like, I don't want to. He's like, I'm not trying to attack anyone, which obviously is wink wink talking about Dwayne the Rock Johnson. But he was clearly frustrated, and so I recommend check out that video. You can see it for yourself. Um, McAvoy talked about how he's like, well, if they did not do, he's like, if Disney didn't buy, Fox, he's like, we probably would have done another X-Men movie. He said,
Okay.
and he said that he goes that one for sure. He goes, I would have been doing Patrick Stewart basically. He's like, I would like the timeline that they were getting up to. He was like, I would have been replacing Patrick Stewart
Okay.
basically as the
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. I can see
Uh,
that.
so that was interesting. Then I'm trying to think Shamik Moore, really cool panel talking about Across the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales' voice. He confirmed Spot being the main villain of this new movie and how Spot's going to be, a really, really important character overall. And I'm trying to think what else. Man, I'm sure I'm missing some stuff because there were definitely some hints and teases at future stuff. I mean, Katie Sackhoff couldn't really say much with her character about where things were going. And obviously you've seen this new episode of Mandalorian. We're gonna talk about Mandalorian in a second. But Katie and Sasha didn't really say much besides like saying that there's a big arc coming in for Bo-Katan, and it will be very redemptive for people who didn't like her from the Clone Wars series. I think she's already been redeemed, in my opinion, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
another whole conversation.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that was the main crux of it. You can also see me talk to Brooke Bassinger, the Stargirl actress. I was able to talk to her a little bit and ask her about coming back, and she said she'd love to come back. Jeff Johns was there. He talked about the series, said that, he really was happy with it, and that, he wishes they could have actually continued on, which is interesting that he would come out saying that
interesting. Yeah,
directly at the
yeah.
convention. Um, man, so much. So, oh, here it is. This is it. Okay. This is the last bit that I found really fascinating, Obed. He's talking about DC, right?
Yep.
So I didn't expect this information, this to be said, but at the Superman and Wonder Woman, George Newbern and Susan Eisenberg panel, right, for Justice League Unlimited, um, Susan talked about Wonder Woman having her own series, right? And she said, "I think it will happen. James Gunn is a big fan of the character, and he's just been talking to us, and I can't say more than what he's talked to us about." So I don't know if you've seen these rumors before, not fully credible places. I'm not saying discredited, but hard to see. There are strong rumors that basically James Gunn wants to adapt the Justice League Unlimited or Justice League series, like that 2000s show, kind of as like source material ish for his new Justice League, um, portrayal in live action, the new DC cinematic universe.
Okay.
Her coming out and saying that she's talked to James is a big fan of their show in particular, and talking about her even coming back as Wonder Woman, and supposedly the animated stuff is going to be connected to the live action stuff. Definitely gives me an interesting perspective. Could be Elseworlds, it could be something else, right? But I just found that to be a really huge rare gem. Make sure you check out that panel as well. Yeah, check out the videos. I don't want to
Yeah,
take too much
totally,
time,
totally. You guys
but
go and check the playlist.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff there. I just one jab, Joe.
Oh, jab.
Your first recap, your first recap video. What kind of potato did you use to take that video?
So, so
Was
I
it a
actually had that
russet, a
in.
Yukon Gold? What was it?
So I here's the thing, to talk about network connectivity, I quickly realized it was so horrible at the convention center that I literally had to change plans going into the second day, because I tried to upload that from the convention center, and as you can see, it just looked absolutely horrible. So yeah, it's not good, not good.
That was rough. That was rough. But no, thank you for putting all that out there, man. That's we can see the fruits of your labors, sir, out there. So, yeah, you guys check out the videos for sure. There's a ton of content there that'll keep you hooked up for a few. All right, let's talk Mando. So, Joe, do you remember what I said when we were talking about the Little Mermaid? About I don't care who plays the character as long as it's a good actor, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna get canceled, but some people should not be acting. They can stick to whatever they do on the for reals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not be acting. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it.
I think I know what you're talking
But
about.
some people are not meant for this, man.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
I caught it myself watching.
Yep. And that's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get
Yep.
canceled. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you can get, I don't, like, let's just call it like it is. Like,
It's valid criticism.
Lizzo was not good.
No.
Like, it's funny, but I mean, it was, when people say what an acting, I mean, that was an example of, it was like she was just reading lines.
Yeah, basically.
Just, I mean, that's just not her forte. That's not a slight on Lizzo.
No, totally.
It's just not her. She's not an actress. We're Jack Black is trying to Jack Black it.
Yeah, and you can tell that he hammed it up to try and help her. You can
totally try to cover it.
You can try to, yeah, you can totally tell it.
Mm-hmm.
And
because he's a pro.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, he doesn't care, right? He was like, if he's out there, he does his thing, and he doesn't really care. But yeah, I think that they gotta be a little bit. And this is, I mean, constructive criticism, right? Because I don't think that overall it was a bad episode. Not the best.
No,
It was like a seven. You
yeah,
know,
it was. Yeah,
Eh, but it's like constructive criticism, right? Don't cancel me, right? I like those. Just some people are just not meant for acting, right? And I know that you know she's a hot commodity right now, and I know. And it's like we have a saying in PR. I don't know if you've said if you've heard it. It's like that person's like white rice, because white rice is
oh, okay.
everywhere, right? You go
Okay,
everywhere,
okay.
and
I see. I
every
see.
place
Very
in PR
popular. Yep.
has white rice. So, and that's the case with her, right? And not a dig against her. I think she's very
No,
talented, doing whatever she does, right, on the side. But I'm not my thing, right? Not
sure.
come on, but I she can do what she does, right?
Yeah.
And that's totally fine, right? That doesn't bother me in the absolute. But when you're trying to get Mando, it's like, and I was watching this episode, Joel, and all I could think of was Andor, and
Oh yeah.
and the
The acting's so good.
contrast and acting and all,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I tell again, like Mando is the card the for the kid in me, right? What
Mm-hmm.
was Andor was for grown up me, but at the same time you gotta be careful. You gotta be, there's still like, you're like, Star Wars is still not safe, like it's still not safe, guys. It's like almost right, we're getting to that point where the franchise is kind of breathing now its own thing, and let Mando cook, as I said, but at the same time it's like, don't put too much salt in it because you're gonna mess it up. So that's all I gotta say. But again, I mean, it wasn't a bad episode as a whole. It was like a seven. Cool to see Roger Rogers there, and and the whole Mando thing at the end is very interesting, and I think it's building up to something really big that we are going to see more of in future Star Wars projects. But yeah, that's my take on this episode, Joe.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. It wasn't the best episode, but it wasn't a terrible episode
No,
either.
I
It
don't know.
felt very Clone Wars. Like, you watch your Clone Wars episodes and not every episode's super action heavy, but it's a little fun adventure. Um, yeah, like same complaint you had, same literally it stuck out right away to me. I was like, oh, this is not
It's not
great.
good.
Great.
Yeah, it's not good.
I felt bad about that.
So we gotta
And
be straight up with you guys, and
we have to.
it's like not a dig, right? It's just some
No,
people are not actors,
no.
and
Yeah, some
yeah,
people they can, and even in the acting, like what you were asking them to do, like was not. That's all like the whole nother argument. Anyways,
yeah, yeah,
um, but like the always having with the Mandalorian having these moments that flashback, not flashback, but harken back to the prequels to some extent. Like I love that the Mandalorian gives love to a part of Star Wars that didn't receive love at its time. And since the new Lucasfilm regime has really been forgotten to some extent, right? Yeah, we got Obi-Wan back for a series, but that's a again separate conversation for a separate day.
yeah.
Um, but there's just not much love and harkening back to that time. But in the Mandalorian, we get that. So I really love that. I think that's really, really wonderful that they do that. I also feel that overall, this episode was very much setup based because, as you notice, every episode has little things that carry over. The first episode, the IG unit, that's going to be coming back for sure in the Battle of Mandalore, right?
At
Like
some
that's something
point,
that
yeah,
you have to come back. They have to get that specific part right for the Babu Frick people, right? To put them together, right? And having even Carl's character, the High Magistrate, having him now and his people basically saying the Mandalorians have us a lot of land here, but they're not really going to live here for long term. It's just a temporary housing before they go back to Mandalore. Maybe have some extra warriors and people who represent and respect them well there. Now you have this new political class from this episode, right? Where you see, this supposedly peaceful regime of people that wasn't so peaceful because of the droids. Which, by the way, this was totally the whole perfect Earth meme. This location, like the perfect society. The meme with
Yeah,
the society, like if society,
yeah,
whatever, it was totally that meme, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Um, but having these now be another set of people that are going to definitely come back for sure for when the Mandalorian calls upon help, maybe those battle droids will actually be fighting with them against the Empire. I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Who
right?
knows? Yeah,
There,
yeah. Although I
there's
mean,
and
like, just to throw it out there, like Christopher Lloyd was great
Christopher
as
Lloyd was
always.
awesome.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, right? He
Come on.
doesn't phone it in.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because like I'm not used to old Christopher Lloyd. I'm used to like still Doc Brown, but it's like it's very endearing to see him, right? And
Yeah.
it was great to see him. It was like, oh man, he looks so old, and I'm old too. This sucks. Let's end it. And it's like, yeah, it was a little bit tough. It was tough. It was moving. It's like, oh, Christopher Lloyd. It was like, oh man,
I
he
know, it was a
popped, and it was
surprise.
so good. And then he started to do the best part of the show. He started to do his monologue about he was being a separatist and Count Dooku,
I
and then he got
know.
shut down. And I was like, no, I wanted to hear this. Why?
That was hilarious though. Him just
It
getting
was good.
zapped out,
It was
falling to
funny.
the
It was funny.
ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Hilarious, hilarious.
And then
But
she
yeah,
goes
he
like
started talking about
politics, right?
Dooku, bro. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
snap,
It's
this
like,
guy's been around.
yeah, yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Literally and figuratively. But but getting to the ending, to me, that was the more than anything that happened in this episode. That ending, right, of going back, Bo-Katan takes back control of her army and gets the dark saber, which we talked about earlier in the episode. I was like, why
Yeah.
did she hand it back to him after? Like, it didn't make
After
sense
she
to
won it
me.
from
They
the
fixed it. They
droid thing,
fixed
yeah, cyborg,
they
whatever. Yeah.
so they fixed that. Mando goes on his whole, exposition, and
Yep.
they're all like, yeah, that works pretty much. It follows the rules, not necessarily the way they want it to be, but technically works.
Yep.
And we move on. So I think last two episodes coming up. Now we go into probably a Moff Gideon episode. If we don't, then he's probably going to be set up for season 4.
We got
Like
2 more episodes, right?
2 more episodes.
Yeah.
They
Huh.
have to take back Mandalore, which is the main arc of the series. People,
But
that's why
are they
Obed.
gonna do it this season though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why Obed. When I see IGN saying, and I'm not trying to call them out only, right? But I feel like I do. But when they're saying like, oh, this series is lacking direction, or I'm like, no. Like the direction has always been clear. They're taking back Mandalore. That's always been like from the very first episode, second episode. Like that's always been the thing, right? Mando gets baptized and not an apostate anymore. And then Bo-Katan and him are like, yo, we've been to Mandalore, bathed in the waters. We need to come back and fulfill some prophecies.
Yeah.
So totally being consistent there. I think like to your point, if they're gonna come back in these last 2 episodes, how do they do the whole Moff Gideon arc? Is it just kind of shoehorned in at the end, or is it a setup for more future seasons? I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
I imagine he'll show up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gideon's such a good character too.
Oh
He
yeah,
needs to be
so good.
back, dude. I mean, anything that Giancarlo Esposito touches is gold. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, that's my thing, right? Overall, decent episode. I don't, other than the acting, right? It's fine. I don't. It is what it is, right?
Right.
Um, in they're building up, right? It's just taking. This one's been a long simmer, right? Although I mean, it was before, right? It was on
Last season.
last season was like that, right? But then in the middle we get Ahsoka, right? Which was like, oh man, it's like to get us hyped, and we haven't had that moment this season. This season's been more like a, let's simmer it. Maybe something's gonna. I mean, something wild's gonna happen in the last episode. We know, right? But
How do you top last season though?
exactly,
Does Luke
you
show up in the
gotta,
Battle of Mandalore? I don't know.
you gotta top it, right?
Boba Fett has to be back, right? Boba Fett has to
Oh
show up in that
yeah,
fight,
yeah, probably.
showing
Yeah,
the Mandalorians.
yeah. You gotta top it, right? It's like that's the expectation. So if you don't do
Maybe
that, it's
maybe
missed
Sabine.
opportunities.
Sabine, she's a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Maybe.
she's got yeah, and I mean, well, the whole Ghost crew, they gotta show up because
Yeah. Well, we already have one of them.
yeah, that's the
Zeb.
thing, right? It's like this is the next thing. You gotta start introducing these characters because as a refresher, I guess, at least.
Yeah.
So, Cool. Let's take a break, and we will be right back.
Stay tuned.
And we're back. All right. Let's see. What do we got, sir? We got a ton of stuff here. Where do we start? All right, let's start with Mario. Because it's an incoming rent, right?
Do it.
Okay. So the Super Mario Brothers movie is out, and it's sitting at a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I care too much for Rotten Tomatoes, has to say, but
Hmm.
it is what it is. Um, but audience score is at 96%. It's telling, right? This isn't one of those. This is one of those that critics don't like because it's a kids movie and I don't understand the references and all this other stuff and like cliche story. It's a movie for kids that happens to have a character that we all grew up with, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. So, yeah, I mean, I can totally see some of the potentially valid criticism. I haven't watched the movie. I'm gonna go Saturday, but um, I just don't think that a lot of the criticism is probably merited. I think this a lot of people went to watch this movie with some expectations and they were not met and therefore bad. It's like kids movie bad. It's like I want to read some of the like outrageous stuff that's out there, right? I'm just gonna scroll down here through the Justice for Bob Hoskins. It was
Oh boy.
great. Come on, come on. Um, it's you know, it's like this isn't a movie. It's a checklist of fan expectations. Okay, it's like, are you even qualified to be? It's like, are you even a fan? Can you attest to that? Right? That it's but a lot of people are saying it's like it's just family fun and it's just a fun time. So, yeah, just a little bit of a rant there. I'm not gonna go too much. We'll probably go in depth with our review next week. Joel, you're planning on posting a review, right? Quick
Yeah,
review on
I'll be
that.
posting reviews similar to with the other ones, so look out for that. Hopefully on Saturday, Sunday the latest, but Saturday should be the plan.
Yep. And then we'll talk about it next week. Just in case, we're probably gonna go spoiler free on that one, but at least we'll give you guys our thoughts. All right, cool. So, trailer for Blue Beetle. Do you want me to play a song or no?
I
No. You know
don't
what?
think it deserves
You
it.
know
I don't think
what?
it deserves
This
it.
looked fun, man.
Yep.
This looked fun. So, finally, DC is actually putting out a movie out there with character, and and this looked actually pretty good. Pretty good. I can see some of the inspirations out there. Um, it looked fun. It looked fun. I I liked it quite a bit actually. I watched it. I was like, I guess I gotta watch this, right? Because I wouldn't want to talk about it on the podcast. So,
Hmm.
but I watched it and I was like, huh, that was fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, I see no negatives in this right at the moment. Right, things could change, but as of right now, I think it did pretty good.
Yeah, I completely agree. Not too much to dive into. It's very straightforward. The story is well set up. It's a Iron Man 1 type storyline that's a comedy, in my opinion. It's like, hey, this guy gets these abilities. What's he gonna do with them? I love
Yeah.
seeing an origin story done well. Hopefully, this is one of them. It made me feel the way I felt about Shazam 1,
Okay.
which I liked the first Shazam,
I thought
at
it was
least
fine.
just how
Yeah.
I felt going into it. This one, I also think for sure, like, if it's funny and it has heart and it has character, but as long as it's not kooky, and that's a terminology I've used with friends and family around me. They know when I reference something, and when something gets from silly just to kooky, like it's just, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Like,
Uh,
we don't need that kind of DC movie. We need something we can laugh and be charmed by. And like seeing George Lopez back, and dude, I was laughing so much in the trailer. Like the whole scene when he finally gets the beetle coming on to him, and
yeah, that was
he
funny.
looks like he's being possessed, and the family's like, what is
Yeah.
this?
So you
It's
know what?
hilarious.
What I really liked about it is that it's is not only his journey, it's his family's journey, right?
Yes.
With him and he discovering these powers. It's not like this, like oh, I got to keep this secret from everyone, like kind of
Right.
like Spider Man. Was nothing against that,
No.
but I like that the family's in on it, right? And
Right.
and it's a very very Latino thing. It's like right, it's like oh, if this
Yeah.
thing happens to me, my family gotta know, right?
Yeah.
So I I appreciated it, and it was different. It was fresh, actually. That's the
Yeah.
word that I could best describe it as. It was fresh, and I liked it.
Yeah, the very beginning, like just him like looking off in the sunset with the
It's so
music,
dumb, yeah.
takes the sunglasses
It's
off, and
great.
it's like you're gonna go mop the floor. It's like maybe it remind me of like Shang-Chi, the whole thing, like with the car,
Oh,
and
with
then
the
it's like,
car,
oh, it's not
yeah,
him in the car, it's
yeah,
he's working at the car. But just fun. Like that's cool. That's fine. It's not too ridiculous. It's just a little fun. But hopefully the movie is as fun as it looks from the trailer.
yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. I'm expecting this movie to be good, so we'll see. We also got a new trailer, or I guess the official trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Again, like not much to say. This thing looks phenomenal. So
Yeah, we don't need to say much about it. It looks really good. I love the Tom Holland reference. I love how we finally get to see Spider-Man 2099, like how much they made him look very much just like Oscar Isaac doing he's doing the voice.
yeah,
Like that's cool to kind of like animate him in that way because yes, he's playing Moon Knight in Marvel live action, but like, it's still cool to see him around doing different things.
yeah, yeah, totally. Again, this like animation top notch, art design and just oh my god, like that first movie was incredible, but this one just takes it up to the next level. The art design of this movie is incredible. So, yeah, looking forward to this. Looks very good. But I haven't watched a detailed breakdown yet because I know that there's a million references
Yeah, I
on
don't
this
want
thing.
to.
It's insane. I mean, you can clearly tell like the pointing like who's who, right? Is like Scarlet Spider and the PlayStation Spider Man, and like
Yeah.
there's like you oh, so many references, man. But yeah, it looked really good. Again, like I suspected, right? Because the first movie was pretty incredible. So very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yep. And I don't know if this is something that okay, so they'll take it away with the Disney shareholder thing.
Oh man. We'll try and run through this best we can. Basically there was a brief update to shareholders, but some big news that still came out of it nonetheless. Obviously, Disney celebrating the 100 years of Disney as a company. One of the first main things is the Moana Journey of Water experience coming to Epcot this year. They're referring to that as basically the last major piece to be released with the whole Epcot expansion project. Now we know that there's other parts
Sad.
that are coming along, but they're basically saying like this is their last main piece, which there was, I mean, the play pavilion that was supposed to be coming looks like that's basically scrapped based
Yeah.
on this announcement. Unless D23, I personally think there's always a chance at D23 they say something else.
Mary Poppins
Um,
ride.
Mary Poppins ride tossed out also. So between that and then you're gonna get your character meet and greet and the festival pavilion that's been worked on. That's pretty much going to be your last major touches. That's how they're referring to it, at least based on this. Any thoughts on that before I?
No, I mean it's disappointing, right? It's
Yeah.
Epcot, right? So Epcot deserves better, and as long as it doesn't look like a war zone anymore, I'm fine with that. But at the same time, right? That play pavilion could have been uh, just an oasis in that park where
Yeah.
a lot of the experience on that park is on the outside, right? And you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for, you don't have interventions anymore. You're looking for a place to, that's air cooled and it has shade. So again, missed opportunities. Like, I don't want to bring Sega back. All right, I don't want to bring it back because I
Uh,
keep talking about it every week that we talk about Epcot or in these things. I keep bringing Sega back, but it's like you could partner. You can easily partner. You don't have to run with all the costs on this, right? You can follow the old Epcot model and get a good partner and build a great experience in partnership with you know PlayStation or Sega or whomever, right? So it's, I mean, it is what it is. But I did see that they're going to, I guess one of the buildings that they tore down, they're going to rebuild one of those and to build it into like community core, if I'm not wrong.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not
We'll
going to be
see.
as big as the old one, but it'll be something with some sort of experiences in there. So we'll see. But yeah, no, the '90s interventions. That was it. That was no one,
Peak.
nothing is gonna ever top that, dude. It's it's like it's a product of its time for sure, right? But it was just incredible. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Incredible. No, no worries. Yeah, it's good. So then the next one is more Moana news. And this one was a surprise to us all. They're making a live action Moana movie
Why?
and
What?
they haven't said when exactly it's coming out, but
Dwayne Johnson as Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson is Dwayne Johnson, Maui. He will be reprising his role. So yeah, like bringing back the one actress and Maui actress, obviously The Rock coming in. They may had a really cool announcement video of The Rock with his kids in Hawaii walking around,
Yeah,
and I'm shocked not because of them making the project, but the timing of it.
it's
Because
so
like
it's
with the
too
whole
soon.
it's so soon
It's too
to have
soon,
this
man.
adaptation. I mean, you
Yeah,
have your live action Cinderella that's years after OG Cinderella, and we're getting our Little Mermaid ones years later. But
they should have done
I
Lilo and Stitch, man.
I
And
know,
bring The Rock. The Rock could have been the cop.
but I will say with this though is it if
Missed
you're going to make
opportunities.
a remake and you're gonna have the original people, they have to do it now, right? The actors who play Moana is getting
Yeah,
older.
yeah,
The Rock's getting like if not, you're gonna have someone else play them.
yeah.
So to some extent, I get that. And it did perform pretty well, so we will
No,
see.
no.
Will The Rock have that pull post Black Adam?
I mean, I can see the reasoning why they think this is a great idea, right? And prove. I mean, they better prove me wrong, right? Prove me. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. And they, I don't know. So what's going on, right? Are we 100%? Are we tapping out at
Hmm.
this point, right?
Yeah.
It's like, is this Disney officially like tapping out and saying we don't want to do anything new. We just want to go back to what we did.
And that's the thing. They've been known for creating original content. And
Yeah.
now this seems like it's like let's just refresh what has happened before. It's very interesting.
Okay. Um. I yeah. Sure. You know,
But then again, Obit, how well are their original content working?
it's
Like
not. That's the.
elementals, do you think that's going to perform very well?
Mm,
I feel very
it
split.
looks.
I'm not
It
saying it's a
looks
bad movie.
good. It looks
I'm
good
not
though, but
saying
I
it's a
don't think
bad
people
movie. But what
people
do you think
care,
people are going to? You
uh,
have Mario or you have elementals?
dude.
I'm taking my kid to Mario if
Dude,
I don't have a kid.
yeah,
But if I did,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
where
yeah.
we're going.
Yeah. No,
Um,
Joel specified he's not. He doesn't have a kid. Just for the ladies out there, you know.
oh my gosh.
So you got to specify that. No, I'm
Don't
taking
spend.
my kid to
Spend
Mario.
yeah,
So,
there you go. See, there you go.
yeah,
You're
for
taking your kid
sure,
to
for
Mario.
sure. Yeah, it's like again, she doesn't want to go see Little Mermaid because it's real people. So,
Right.
so we're
See,
at that point, right?
that's again a Disney property.
Yeah, and
We're-
that's a problem that they're going to have to deal with. Um, a, a lot of kids are not gonna watch. Not gonna. They're not gonna want to. I mentioned it to my daughter yesterday. It's like, hey, they're gonna make a Moana with the same people that played Moana and Maui in the movie doing the thing. She's like, but we're real people again. It's like,
Wow.
yeah. It's like, well,
They want,
we already have Moana, basically. Like that's basically what she said.
yeah.
You know,
And she's right because like Disney animation is something special, dude. Like it's to Disney, it's something sacred and to some extent. And like Disney animation has not been what it was, and they're switching to this live action thing. And I want them to go back to their roots.
when are we gonna have live action Frozen? I mean, it's older than Moana, so
Has to happen
why
at some
not?
point. Tangled,
Sure.
tangled.
Yeah. I don't know. Uh, I was gonna make a joke. I'm gonna move on, sir.
Okay,
Anything
okay.
else that you want to talk
No,
about
that's all.
this?
That's all. We go to the next thing. Go to the next thing. We got plenty to talk
Okay.
about.
All right. So I don't have my lightsaber of truth with me today.
Oh,
But how? Okay. Did we call this or not? A mile away. I don't know if you guys watched the video
oh
that I
boy.
posted on YouTube. E3, at least for 2023, is canceled. If you ask me, it's canceled forever.
Same.
I don't think this is coming back. Um, and I know that the ESA was working with same people that organize like Comic Con and Star Wars Celebration, but it's just uh it, mm, it's crazy, dude, that they announced it like the next day after we recorded,
I
and
know.
it's like, bro, are you kidding me? It's like we just talked about it like 10 hours ago, and what there's gotta be something happening, right? And like publishers are probably just not happy with something. It could be the
Could be
ESA,
financial.
could be financial, could be the ESRB. I don't know, right? Something's happening, right? And yeah, well, I mean, unfortunate if you had plans to go to E3 this year, it looks like you may have to go to either another show or hold on, hold until next year and see what happens. But
I'm glad they announced it quickly because I feel bad for people who paid for airfare,
yeah,
hotels locked in. That stuff's not cheap for conventions. That's this like right now. I'm already dealing with this now for the summer, right? Trying to lock all that stuff in. And so I'm glad they announced it pretty immediate so people can work on getting those refunds or changing their plans or whatever.
yeah,
Because this is just not a good situation. But like you said, we called it that convention. There's no convention without the publishers, and if none of them are going to show up, then what is this expo all about?
yeah,
It's lost its purpose. So
yeah,
hopefully, like you're saying, it's not forever. But I have no indication to believe otherwise. I think
totally not.
the days are behind for E3. I do not think that convention continues. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, yeah, unfortunate, but Jeff Keighley's out there doing his like Games of Summer thing,
Yeah,
and we know that Nintendo's gonna have a direct. We know that Sony's gonna have a state of play. We know that Microsoft's gonna have a showcase. Like we know that these things are gonna happen, right? We know
but you
that
don't need E3.
Sega any second can drop an announcement. Like they've been doing. Like Sega's been like shooting announcements out there. It's like, oh, out of nowhere. So it, we'll probably see like bigger stuff like the Assassin's Creed and whatnot at the Summer Game Celebration or whatever it's called. Um, but when it comes to just having everyone together, right, as it was before, that's not gonna happen ever again, probably. So,
Unfortunately.
yeah, it's unfortunate. It was lifelong dream, but it is what
I
it
know
is.
you and I wanted to go. We
Yeah,
talked
man.
about this like 6 years ago. Like, oh, we'd love to plan and just go together and
But
make it a thing.
it's not gonna happen.
Nope.
We're gonna have to to just deal with the local events.
Yep.
If no other, hey, you know what? If no other like urgent things happen, right? Because like
You never know.
the last few years have been, it's like, hey, let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, we gotta cancel. Hey, let's go. Oh, I gotta cancel this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my car broke. Dang it.
Literally.
Literally, it was a broken car, right?
Not an exaggeration, guys.
Dang it. So, um, yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. I know that they asked Shiggy during the Nintendo or during the Mario the premiere. It's like, when's the next Mario coming? And he just said, stay tuned for the next
Oh.
direct or whatever. He said something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
There is a post credit and a mid credits. I did hear a
yeah,
confirmation of that.
I did see that.
It's
Yeah.
technically out today, right now. Obed and I are waiting to Saturday. Just reiterating that for those jumping in.
Missy, man. Missy
Yep, we
people.
will see it on Saturday, and
Yeah.
you will get your full time review.
Yeah. Oh, Joel's mic died. Oh no.
Oh, am I
Hey,
back?
you're back. Hey,
I'm back.
you're
Okay,
back. You're
cool.
back. You're not using the backups, sir.
The
The
backups.
backups. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Some interesting news, exciting to me. Legendary landed the rights to make a Street Fighter movie and TV show. I don't know. This happened yesterday or was announced yesterday.
Yeah,
They actually came out today and confirmed that the movie is already in the works. So it's happening, Joe.
awesome.
It's happening. Again, if you ask me, right, lifelong street. I was there. I was there when it was written. Uh,
There I was.
um, if you asked me, and I'm gonna throw it out there, legendary. If you're listening, you can take this idea. I'm not gonna charge you for it.
I might. I'm
you
just kidding. Just kidding.
you take
Maybe.
take the Street Fighter 2 Victory show, the Japanese, the OVA. No, it wasn't OVA. It was a an actual like standard like one season anime thing that they did. Street Fighter 2V, as they noted here in the states. Take Street Fighter 2V and adapt it. You got a few at least 3 seasons that you can cut from all that. You can have like set it in the 90s. You don't have to like setting stuff like 80s like stuff is huge now. I think 90s nostalgia is getting to the point where people are going to start wanting 90s nostalgia
Yes.
stuff. Set it in the 90s. Set it in like 91 when Street Fighter 2 came out, right? And then you have young Ryu and Ken, and they're learning about the Hado, and they're going out to fight people because they want to train, and they get beat up by Guile, and they meet Chun Li, and they train in India, and this whole thing, right? I think that if you adapt that, like set it in the 90s, adapt that storyline, put it out there as a show, I mean, I'm 100% in. Now, when it comes to a movie, I think it's much harder because you gotta be careful with how you adapt it, because we've like so far the movie adaptations that we've gotten right have been, especially The Legend of Chun Li, which is an atrocious movie. I think that movie is probably worse than like
Wow.
like Mortal Kombat Annihilation's bad, right? But it's one of those so bad it's good movies that you watch it because it's like, this is absolutely ridiculous and I love it, right? But that it was insufferable, man. That movie is insufferable. It's as bad as the King of Fighters movie that we talked about a few years ago. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that. I
And the
remember
guy
that.
that
Yeah.
played Terry Bogard is the director of the Deadpool movies. So Is yeah. Um,
Did we ever
it's
talk about the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie? Did we ever talk about this
oh,
on
we did,
here?
yeah, yeah. We
We did.
we
Yeah, we
we
did.
did a
Okay. Yeah.
review. Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, you just gotta be you just stay true to the characters, right? Don't change too much. It's okay to take creative liberties, but just don't go off the rails like the Van Damme movie was, and especially the atrocious Legend of Chun Li.
Yeah.
Um, I think that first movie, you know, it, it has a cult following now. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people watch it. It's like a cult classic kind of thing. And if it wasn't for Raul Julia, elevates that movie into, I don't want to say a masterpiece, but it elevates it into a piece. I don't know. I don't know a piece of
A
what,
piece.
but it's a piece.
Piece of art.
It's out there.
It's art.
The movie's something else. It's crazy. But yeah, it's tough, right? It's tough. You can do a movie with like again, uh, it's man, if it's hard, and I want it to be good. I really, 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 really do want it to be good because it's I love Street Fighter, and I really want it to be something that I can enjoy and watch and actually have some satisfaction watching it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's good. I mean, Legendary is known for having high quality productions, right? And they're being distributed by Sony, right? Legendary signed up with Sony for
Yes.
the distribution.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It could be a PlayStation exclusive movie.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. Now, yeah, they need to do it good. They need to cast people right. They need to get the group. And didn't you mention that Simu Liu said that he was involved with a video game project,
He
that
did, and
but he couldn't say what it was?
yeah, he said that he literally is involved in a project. Couldn't say what it was, but he's like, you can probably guess it. And I'm like, that could be it.
It's not Mortal Kombat, but
Street Fighter could be.
I hope so. A boy can dream, because he would probably be like a like almost perfect Ryu, like
Yeah, that would be a
yeah,
great choice.
yeah. Like you can I can I'm gonna get behind that. So
Yeah.
we shall see. So last bit of news that I have here is that take it with a grain of salt. Although it's been growing in the I guess this came out yesterday,
Yeah.
by like one of those like not super reliable websites, but then it's picking up steam and like it's out there. A lot of people are talking about it now. Allegedly, Sony is working on a new handheld, and now that the Switch proved that handhelds are a thing, are still a thing, uh, and the Steam Deck has been very very popular. It seems like Sony is going to attempt and come back to the portable gaming space. So I guess they're calling it Q-Lite is the code name for the
Code name.
project. Yep. And it's kind of like, if I understand it right, and this is again rumors, but right, but um, it's basically a like a 1080p PS5. Like
It's
it's
a
a uh,
yeah, like it's gonna be basically they look like a dual sense, have an LCD screen across it, and it's gonna be 1080, 60 frames, and it's gonna be remote play based. Like you're gonna have to have a PS5. So it's not gonna be like cloud streaming at all.
okay. Is it gonna be remote play only? Because
That's what I think
I
it
already
is.
have a remote play only device. It's called my iPad.
Right. No,
So
100%
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's what the rumor is, that it's a handheld, but it's not really a separate console. It's really just more of a streaming. And I'm not crazy about this
No,
news if that's what it is. I
if
hope
that's
that we're wrong.
no,
Oh,
if that's what it is, I'm not in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's for somebody, but that's not me.
yeah. Like there's rumors. We talked about it. There's rumors about the Slim PS5 Slim with like a modular disk drive that you can attach to the console. And there's more rumors about a Pro coming out, but I just don't know that this is the right move, dude.
No, I don't feel crazy about it.
Like you have so many good PS4 games out there. Why not make a miniature PS4? Like it's already 10 years old. You can get it. You can get a PS4 very small, dude.
Which is kind of what the Vita kind of was more like, right? Like it was like between PS3 and PS4 kind of, right? And the PSP was kind of PS2, like while you
Yeah,
had your PS3.
yeah,
So kind of make it that bridge between the 4 and the 5.
yeah. I think that the Vita was kind of like a. It was PS3 ish. It wasn't
Yeah.
quite there, but it was good. Like the Vita was a great device. I love my Vita, dude. It's like
Uh,
it's still floating around. I sent you a picture recently. It's like, hey, guess what I was playing? I was like
it's awesome.
freaking Vita came out of nowhere. So it's
The only PlayStation console I never owned.
yeah, it's a great device, man. I put a few
Yep.
hundred hours on that thing,
It's
and
awesome.
you know, I had a great time, and it's unfortunate that it was kind of like let go so quickly,
Yeah.
and they need to learn from their mistakes and not put a proprietary memory card on those things and just use micro SD. But I mean, if it's true, right, and it's priced right, depends on what it is, right? If it's priced right and it's a miniature PS4 where I can log into my you know PlayStation account and download any of the hundreds of PS
Oh,
Plus games
sure.
that I've accumulated over the years, heck yeah. So,
Absolutely.
if it's a small handheld that I can play any game that I have on PS4, I would take that. Like I
Hmm.
would take that honestly. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's something that think about it right now with
Yeah.
the new the PlayStation Plus, like essentials and the other one and the premium. Yeah, you could have all those games accessible on the fly and be able to just download them, play it on the device. But if it's just a streaming thing, like for remote play, nah, I'm out.
Because it's probably gonna be the same price. Like take if it's dual sense with that extra, right? You're gonna spend $150. That's a minimum. Maybe $200 for a streaming device. That doesn't make sense. Like
Nah, I mean, I can
you get
pair
an Xbox Series S.
I can pair a dual sense with my iPad and use remote play.
Yeah. Or your laptop. Like I've got a nice MacBook here. That can
Yeah,
be
you can.
my device.
Yeah, and you can pair the controllers and it works great. So,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know.
Which I love remote play. I love that feature. It's great. I don't
Yeah,
use
yeah,
it
yeah.
enough, but it's a great
Oh no,
feature.
totally, totally. Yeah, I use it sporadically, but it works.
Yeah.
So yeah. Again, this is just still rumors to me, right? I don't think this is
Agreed.
100% real, but at the same time, it's something worth pointing out. But again, if it's just a streaming device, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, by the way, again this week I was contemplating the Dual Sense Edge, and I was like,
It's nice.
do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? But do I play enough where I can get an advantage of using this thing? And I don't know. It's like I'm happy with just the regular DualSense controllers that I
Right.
have, and I don't see a reason why I would need to like invest that sum of money. So yeah, but we'll see what comes out of this, and we'll see what comes out of the other rumors about the Slim and the Pro. Joel, that is what we have. If you don't have anything else, wrap it up.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for being with us for this episode. And thank you again for all of our new subscribers, new followers. Thank you so much for your support. We ask that you would continue to stay subscribed, podcast version, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, anywhere your podcast platform of choice. Follow us on there. Subscribe on our YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already. We don't make money from this. and we're not asking you to send us
At
money. We're
least
just
not
asking
yet.
for your support. At least not yet. But we're not asking for money. We're asking for your support. Just by hitting that subscribe button helps us tremendously. If you would even be kind enough to hit the like button, that would even be even more awesome. Your support has been amazing. We thank you all greatly, and we will continue to bring you guys content as best that we can and make it worth it for you in the long run. So stick with us. Make sure you're also following us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You also can follow us on Twitch, No Load Time altogether on Twitch. We also broadcast live to their episodes. Summer's coming, maybe some gaming streaming, some streaming.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Make sure to check us out there. Um, and last but not least, if you have any questions, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can always comment on videos and you know and on social media, but you can also email us. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Thank you all so much, and we're gonna be with you on our next episode. Like I said, this weekend, Mario review dropping, so look out for that.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.